I'm sure everyone up here tonight believes they are qualified to sit on this town board, I believe I have proven over the last 4 years that I can handle this position. The position has positives and negatives, as with all jobs. Some days things run smooth, some days they don't. In this position, you need to have a thick skin and always do what you believe is best for everyone in the town of Stony Point, not special interest groups. I believe I've done that. When I ran 4 years ago, I pledged to protect the taxpayers of Stony Point with my vision for the future, my business experience, and my goal to protect our environment. When I took office in January of '06, the amount in the reserve fund totaled $591,000. That sounds like a lot of money, and to be honest with you, when I took office, I was pretty happy to see that money in there. As of today, that stands at over $5.2 million in 4 years. Now, some of that money will be used in the upcoming election, in the upcoming budget for 2010. This money was put in this fund so the taxpayers wouldn't have to be responsible for the whole $2 million shortage with the closing of the Myron plant this year. Hopefully, we can keep the increase in this year's budget to a minimum. In the past year, I played a part in bringing a much-needed supermarket to our town. The plans are for the building to be ready for its grand opening in November 2010. This would be a huge help to our tax base and provide much-needed employment to the many Stony Pointers. I also played a part in hiring Palmer Economic Development to help with attracting more clean ratables to our town. Hopefully, ShopRite will only be the beginning of clean ratables to our town. Palmer Economic Development will work at no cost to the taxpayers of Stony Point. They will be paid through the developers and builders who choose to make their home in Stony Point. Palmer Development has already brought an interested party for the development of the Letchworth property, which we've heard tonight from both candidates, which I will comment on when I'm done with my speech. While this is a very early stages, the development would consist of a minor league ball stadium with a hotel, shops, and restaurants. This project will be a great tax rateable for Stony Point and bring in much needed employment. As I stated, this project is far, far from being ready to move. The secret process, public hearings have to be held, and everything else. One of the first things that was done when I took office, we hired a finance director. Jennifer Sesente was hired by the town board and has been a huge part of helping Stony Point build its reserve fund to over $5.2 million. She is the town's first finance director, and the work she has done to put into this town has been tremendous. I thank the whole board for bringing in such a talented person to help with the finances of our taxpayers. I feel that over my 4-year term, I have proven that I stuck to my campaign pledges. I have protected the taxpayers of Stony Point. I fought and stood up to the county when they wanted to place a dump smack dab in the middle of our town. And I will continue to do so. I fought to enact a law that would make corporate polluters pay for their cleanup before leaving town. I fought to enact a law that would make developers and builders responsible for their costs of attorneys, engineers, experts, and planners. These costs used to come from the taxpayers. I hope you will give me the opportunity to continue working for the town of Stony Point as your councilman. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve you over the past 4 years. It would be an even bigger privilege if you gave me that trust again this year. Please remember to come out and vote on November 3rd, no matter who you're voting for. We live in the greatest country in the world, America, where we can go out and not take for granted the vote. I'm sorry. We live in the greatest country in the world, and we need to remember that the right to vote should not be taken for granted. Yes, Judge.
Could you tell us how much the developers have paid to the town attorney under the law that you arranged to pass?
I couldn't give you that answer right now. I don't have that in front of me.
That would be in addition, however, to the $350,000 that we've already spent this year.
Right now, I noticed you mentioned that when the past administration was $60,000, or the past town attorney was $60,000 a year. I'm assuming that was retainer, and you're telling me $60,000 a year was litigation and everything else. I find it hard to believe. Right now, the retainer for our town attorney is $95,000 a year. Litigation with Myron has obviously cost us a lot of money. Litigation with Article 78 brought forth from the townspeople, a few of them cost money also. And not to shoot arrows at the other side of the party, because that's not what I'm here for. I take them enough from my own party. But just to remind the Republican administration that the past 2 years, when this $300-something thousand and $500-something thousand Mr. Sherwood speaks about, is being run on a majority of a Republican town board. They have control to stop this. They can come up here and fight this, but they vote right along with it. They see the work that's done, and they obviously like it. So for you to come up here and trash the board simply because we have a supervisor that's a Democrat, I take offense to that because you have the majority of the board, you have control of that, and you could have stopped it if you wanted to.
Could you tell us what steps you've taken as a councilman to change any of that?
I think Mr. Lynch is a very good attorney. I think that his firm is a very good attorney. I've had conversations with many people throughout the town, just recent days. Girls I know.
He's a good rich attorney.
Well, you know what? I'm going to get into a few more things right now. The comments that were made about the Little League field. Just let me finish this. I will get back to the quotes. The Little League fields are not. They may be in that map. If they are in that map, which I don't believe they are, because I did have a comment. I mean, a letter here from our attorney, because I did bring this question to him because that seems to be the rumor around town today. That all maps that show the property to be potentially sold exclude the Little League fields. They are not in the map of the sale. They may have been put on that number. If that is so, I'm not aware of it. There will be, well, you'll be happy to know that the Republican administration can change that because they have a 3-2 vote, even if the Democrats don't want it. So next month, I'm sure the fellow Republicans that voted for it last week or last month will be happy to change their mind if you're going to tell them to do that. That's not the way we run our town now. We all go up there and we vote with our heart, with our conscience, and we vote for what we believe is best for the town of Stony Point, not what's best for our party. As far as the senior, I'm sorry, I will get to you, I promise. I just...
Give 30 seconds of open time.
Go ahead.
What information? Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing 3-2, you had a majority. I thought we're trying to get to a point where we have a board where everybody tries to do the best, what's in the best interest of the town, not sit there and divide on party lines and start bickering.
Sir, I just stated that this current town board, whether you're Democrat or Republican, do vote with their heart. They do vote with their conscience. They vote for what everybody out here believes to be the best thing for Stony Point. We don't all have to agree on every issue. I didn't bring up the the Democrat-Republican issue. I'm defending myself here. I'm being blamed for things when things could have been taken care of by his administration. I'll have to. Okay.
One change.
Okay. To answer a few things, Mr. Muller, the sale of the halfway house in Stony Point that we spent $17,000 on, you can go back and look at that. It went to a 4-1 vote. I voted against it. I didn't want the $17,000 spent. That's on the record. You can look that up in the minutes. I was against it from day one. I wanted the house there. It was supposed to cost the town $50,000. Mr. DeBarry up there was going to put in the other $50,000, which would be a $100,000 fee. The $317,000 that you noted that were allotted, that's not the case, unless there's something I don't know about. The $80,000 on Spring Street, the people live on Spring Street. We have Tilcon trucks that use that road every day coming up there. We can't put a slingshot to get across the street. And I hate to sit here and go talk about something that my own party has said. And I'll go back to 4 years ago when Mr. Doug Johnson was running also. I made a comment that maybe he's on the wrong side of the table. I don't understand why there's a few things here that shouldn't have been brought up, but $80,000 to fix Spring Street, how are the people going to get down there if we don't fix it? There's a road that fell in down an embankment. There was no way to get cars by there. It was an emergency that had to be fixed. We got our superintendent of highways and his crew to go out there, and this was a job well done. And I really take exception that we shouldn't be fixing our streets. We have to keep our infrastructure working in a proper manner and keeping these businesses in town. If we were to lose a place like Tilcon, it would be devastating for the town. So I took exception to that. I do apologize. Just a few other things. The website, Mr. Judge, I do agree with you 100%. It's in shambles. It should have been fixed years ago. I've made many comments. Nothing was done about it, so hopefully we can get that taken care of. Thank you very much.